Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things they don't like about you is your foreign policy. You got into it recently. There was a debate you had with your primary opponents in the Florida State Convention, and I guess Governor DeSantis brought in Mark Levin to be the debate moderator. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, the Republican Party was doing things to try to open up avenues for some of the establishment, sort of rhino neocon type Republicans with my primary, helping them out with fundraising, et cetera. But they had not really taken the knives out on me into the last couple of weeks. Once they saw the debate between me and Mark Levin, where we got into it, and I referred to him as a neocon and told him that his failed foreign policy of intervention all around the world while our own country is going to hell because of our woke elites who hate us, I told him that was a skewed view. When that happened, the neocons in D.C. took notice, and so that's when the dark money started to arise. The $110,000 for the negative mail started on Friday, and then the $370,000 for negative TV ads started. The expenditure was today. They'll start tomorrow. So about almost $500,000 within a week or two of that exchange.
Yeah, I hope that Levin isn't an indication of Ron DeSantis' foreign policy, but that's for another time. I want to ask you, in regards to the debate exchange you had with Levin, how long did it go, you and him back and forth? I saw a clip, but did it go longer than that? I was like 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
The debate was more of a forum. It was an hour-long forum with all the candidates, but the debate between me and Mark Levin was roughly 3 minutes. Okay. And it started with him saying, what should be our posture towards Ukraine? I said, well, we should be observing very closely and truthfully even some of the humanitarian aid that's provided. Obviously, I don't see an issue with, but the pure military aid, which fuels a illegitimate proxy war, unconstitutional proxy war against Russia, which serves no American interest whatsoever. There's no vital American interest that lies here. I said that was a failed foreign policy and we should play no role in the conflict whatsoever, at least not yet, as it's occurring within the country of Ukraine. Obviously, I think at this point there's no good argument to say we should be intervening or involved in any way, shape, or form. And he referred to that as the most radical foreign policy view he had ever heard in his entire life. So this guy obviously has been drinking the neocon Kool-Aid for close to 30 years. I personally think he's just totally insane and also a coward. The man's never served in the military in his entire life, and yet he thinks we should be fueling a proxy war with another serious nation around the world for no reason other than some strange, dated, moralistic Soviet feelings, anti-Soviet feelings he has from his youth, I assume. I have no idea why he thinks anybody would want to commit troops or their money to such a ridiculous conflict as this, but that's his position.
And I remember in that one part he said that he said, I consider you an elite because you're a politician. What do you think of that? Are you an elite?
Yeah. So I said to him, the woke elites are the ones who guide us and sold us this garbage philosophy that still exists within some of the ranks of the Republican Party, although it's a growing minority, and you could tell from the crowd roaring and approving everything I had to say as opposed to what he was saying. And he said, well, I'm not a woke elite, even though I wasn't really referring to him. I was talking about the think tanks and so forth that actually directly influence the policy. And funny enough, he was extremely offended by it and said, no, you're the elite. You're the elite. You're an elected office holder. That makes you elite, even though this guy's probably worth, who knows, $100 million or whatever he makes on his radio show, selling this dated, goofy philosophy from the 1980s to people who are unwitting listeners. So apparently, in his worldview, I'm the elite, the state house rep in his early 30s, whose net wealth is 1,000th of what his is.
Yeah, and I think the neocon philosophy is in keeping with wokeism because they cheapen violence. Violence is passé. Violence is whatever you need. It's okay. There's a disrespect for the human body, for the human person, because neoconservatism is all about, perpetual war, perpetual destruction, perpetual chaos, regime change chaos. I mean, that really is exactly in keeping with wokeism, because wokeism, both of them are nihilistic. There's no principles rooted in something like Christianity, right or wrong, you know?
Yep, that's exactly right.